Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Refresh your browsers, y'all, because today is Tuesday, February 14th, 2012, and you're listening to Room 3026 Live, episode 465, a 60-minute conversation ranging from technology to pop culture. And I'm your host, Damond Nollan, and we are broadcasting live right here in Durham, North Carolina. It's lunch hour in the Onyx Tower.
Yep.
Today my co-host is Mr. Michael Render.
And I doos it.
And as always, we encourage listener participation. That means that you can join the conversation. All you have to do is call us right here at 646-929-2689. Again, that's 646-929-2689. You can also chat with us live right here on blogtalkradio.com/Damond Nollan. Want to give a special thanks to Mr. Darren Tyler for providing our theme song, which you are now listening to. It's called Without You. And that reminds me that without you, we would not be where we are today. So let me say thank you very much for what you do. We really do appreciate it. Now let me turn to the chat room and say hi to those who are walking in the room right now. Let's say hi to Mr. Alan Tran.
What up?
That's the man. We also want to say hi to Spacecraft. Looks like a first-time offender. Welcome to the show. Glad you can make it with us today. Want to also say welcome to all of you listening live in an archive. We really do appreciate your support. Now, I do want to point out that Mr. Derek Brinson is not here today.
That's okay.
Oh, yes, he's still out of the office. I think he's still under the weather. So we want to just tell him that we are thinking about him and wish him the very best and a quick and speedy return. Just don't bring those germs back with you because we don't need it, man. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. It's Tuesday, man. We made it successfully through Monday. I was tired last night, man.
Yeah,
I don't know how I did it.
I don't know how I'm going today because I was up late working on Central stuff.
As it should be.
No, it shouldn't.
As it should be.
Should have had it done earlier.
Well, that's true.
I slacked.
Well,
no, I didn't slack. Something happened.
Okay, there we go. I'll work with that one. Anyway, we appreciate you guys joining us today. I got some callers on the line. I want to say welcome to the callers who are listening right now. Welcome to the show. Looks like it could be Leon. What's going on, sir? Welcome to the show. We have a great show lined up as we do each and every day. I want to give you kind of an update as to what we're going to be talking about in today's show. We're going to talk a little bit about, is Twitter ready for its IPO? You know, Facebook just decided to do it. What about Twitter? We'll talk about that. Let's also talk about this new, what did they say, an 8-inch iPad? Do tell.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, we'll get into details on that. We'll also talk more about the ratings from the Grammys. We'll talk a little bit more about some new things that Google is rolling out and much, much more in this episode of Room 3026 Live. So don't go anywhere at all. Now, let me ask you, yesterday was Monday, and we had Boy Scouts. You know, my son is, I think, his second class. And I walked in last night, and we have this. You know, like I'm the new treasurer. I told you about that last week, right?
Right.
I'm the new treasurer. And they're throwing money at me like left and right. There's like checks and money. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, hold on a second. Hold on. I mean, it felt good. You know, $1,700 is really great to hold on to. But I think I got this new application. It's a tool that they made specifically for Boy Scouts. It's a great app once you get the hang of it. And I can understand why many treasurers just go back to the Excel file because it's probably easier at first, but once you get the hang of this tool, it's awesome. Okay. So I think I got it now. I'm really excited about spending money.
Position in the organization. I would love to hear what this might be.
Well, this is made specifically for Boy Scouts, for all my Boy Scout volunteers out there, and especially if you are a volunteer and you happen to be a treasurer, you got to try this. It's a great tool. It's a part of the Troop Master series. It's called Troop Ledger. And I think it's about $60 a year. It's really inexpensive. It's a download. You can actually download onto your machine. But what's cool about it, though, and this is why I'm so excited, is because you can put all the boys' names in there, right?
Okay.
And all the troop leaders in there. And then you can keep track of everybody's account. So you don't have to run around here with pieces of paper and an Excel file and all that. It's very easy to maintain. So I was so proud of myself because last night I got the money balanced just right. So I was so happy.
All in one night.
All in one night, like within the course of the hour.
$1,700.
Yeah, which was in checks and cash. And
$1,500.
Right. Well, no,
13.
You said $1,300. Yeah, $1,200 is what we deposited last night.
What happened to the 17?
Oh yeah, what had happened was that's the processing payment.
Okay, but you got it all done in one night.
Got it all done. So yeah, it's great to be in there. Let me say what's up to Tim Arthur. Tim Arthur's chiming in as well. Let me say what's up to him. King Tim Bada Bim. Welcome to the show, sir.
What's going on?
Hey, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
So you gonna hang out with us for a little while?
I'm gonna call and I called in to hang out with you guys today.
Hey man, that's awesome. Because you know what I want to talk about today, right? I at least want to talk a little bit about the upcoming event. So, in place of the Rab, I'm going to use you. Is that okay?
Hey, that works.
Well, you've been working hard on it, man. I definitely want to give you some credit for the hard work you're putting into that. So, but we're going to talk about that in just a few moments. But anyway, so that's what happened to me yesterday. I felt really satisfied. I got home and I couldn't sleep because I was doing that. So that's what happens. The little things you get excited over. So, Tim. How was your evening last night?
Last evening, it was pretty good. I pretty much worked on stuff for Ignite all night last night.
Dude, you're a beast when it comes to that. I don't know how you guys do it.
T-shirts last night. I've got a special unboxing video
that I might
throw out there.
Sweet.
Yeah, we got our shirts last night. They look incredible.
Sweet.
Shirts.
Yes. They don't sleep on us now.
I won't.
I also want to share, though, we have a special guest in the room with us today. And I told her I wouldn't put her on the spot, but I want to say hi to her so that you guys know that we have a special guest here.
Very special guest.
She is a very smart young lady, and she has been helping us, keeping us together. We talked about this the other day on the show, right? We said that we got some consultants that are helping us to communicate, with the, the leadership of the institution. And I wanted you guys to meet her. She said that she'd love to come here, and I told her I wouldn't put her out there, so I won't embarrass her. But I want you guys to meet Joyce Lewis. She is here with us, and she is from the Robinson Group Consulting company out of Chicago, Illinois. So I want to say hello to you, and thanks for joining us.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here.
Thank you for having us. So she's going to be here with us today. So if you want to chime in at any point in time, feel free. We'll talk about whatever we talk about. If you have some experience, do tell.
Well, I think it's fantastic to be able to reach out to your community and share the tips and tricks of technology. So it's going to be fantastic working with the team, and I'm sure we're going to have some awesome results to share with everybody soon.
Amen. I like it. All right, y'all. So let us, first of all, before we go into our first story, let us dive in to our first announcement. And since I have Tim here on the phone, I want to talk about Ignite Rally 3, which is happening in only a few days from now. Thursday, February 16th, 2012, at the Lincoln Theater here in downtown Raleigh. The event has a number, I think 15 speakers now, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right,
Correct.
Tim? 15
That's
speakers.
Correct, yeah.
So we are just days away, and Tim and Ryan Boyles and Lisa Sullivan have been working their tails off and trying to get this thing to really turn out to be a success, like it has been in years past. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you guys been doing?
Yeah. Well, we basically took us a little while to wrap up the sponsorship for the event. It's a charitable event where we're helping to raise money for a local group called Band Together. And Band Together gives money to local ministries and charities, by holding concerts and free events and taking donations at those events. So we decided to help them out. And we've got several great sponsors this year. We've got Lulu, we've got Capstrat, Triangle Interactive Marketing Association, Ignite Social, tremendous sponsors this year. We've got NBC 17 is providing us with an MC. Paige Crawford from NBC 17 will be joining us, as well as her husband Jake Failing, and they're a great duo together at events. Very fun to watch. Looking forward to seeing them. We just finished up putting all the music together for the different breaks and the introductions, and it's lots of great stuff is coming together for this event. It's going to be a good production. Basically, if you haven't heard about Ignite before, it's you get 20 slides that you submit to us, and you get 5 minutes to talk about a topic that you're passionate about. And the slides will be set to an automatic timer so that they'll advance every 15 seconds. It's a very different event. It's like nothing that you've ever seen before. So if you're in the Triangle area this Thursday, tickets are totally free. We've already got hundreds of people that have claimed their tickets, so please go and get them while you can. It's Thursday evening at 7 p.m. at the Lincoln Theater in downtown Raleigh, and you can just go to ir3bt.eventbrite.com right now and get your free tickets.
Sweet. And I'm looking at a couple of the topics that they have here as I kind of go through these. We already spoke with one of them. It says, so it turns out I have superpowers, and so do you. We actually had Trevor Little on the show last week, and he kind of gave us a rundown on that. Another one, obviously one of my favorites, the one that I'd like to see is lifestyle design and the currency of the new rich. That one looks exciting. That one, Katie, I guess it's Benedetto. Hey, Katie Ban is going to be doing a presentation. Also, I see Brian McDonald has one. It says 11 things you should know about Raleigh. So I'm really excited to hear those. Do you have a favorite, Tim? Which one are you looking forward to?
Actually, some of the ones that I was most looking forward to, I was also interested in the lifestyles of new currency. I think that's the name of the topic. The one that you had just mentioned. Also, the one about teenagers. I was interested in, and the one that Charlotte Moore's going to be more talking about, why writers are a-holes.
Oh, yeah.
She's entertaining to watch, and I'm interested in seeing her topic as well. So,
and the teen one is Today's Teen, Friend, Foe, or Antichrist by Adam Cohen.
Dangerous.
All right. Yeah, so definitely, if you haven't done that yet, go out there to the website. Get your tickets now. It's entirely free. You'll have a great time. And I was last night looking at some of the videos from last year and the year before, and it is just hilarious. It's a hilarious event, so come hang out with us. All right.
Absolutely, and you can win some shirts maybe. We've got some shirts.
Win shirts?
Really nicely designed T-shirts, if I say so myself.
Well,
I've got to say that because I designed them. So.
Cool. You're the man. All right. Well, let's jump into our feed watch. Let's go ahead and get that started. And
Feed watch.
What is feed watch? You asked, Mike Render?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, thank you for asking. Feed watch. It's where we constantly comb the blogs so that you don't have to. We give you the news that you can use because that's what we do. So you best not snooze, you will not lose. Unless, of course, you just like singing the blues. A boo-hoo. Who? Even. This first story, as you may know, we've been talking a lot about Facebook, right? And their pending IPO, which everyone is excited about, right? We are excited about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to be able to afford it.
Yeah, depending on how much that will cost.
Right.
But the question that many are asking right now is, when will Twitter do the same thing? When will Twitter join the fun? And I'm getting some feedback here from a number of different sources, CNN being one of them. And this story comes from Read Write Web. But the response is that it won't happen for a couple of years. That's coming from their leadership. But it looks like... as of right now, CNN is reporting an interesting number that says that the company leadership does not want its employees to sell their stock just yet. As a matter of fact, they want to maintain that 80% of their shares because, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, and I am definitely by no means a super investor, but they're trying to make sure that they don't have more than 500 shareholders in their company. And the reason being is because if you do have more than that, while you can still remain private with your stuff, the Securities and Exchange Commission wants you to sort of disclose some information that they want to keep private. So in order to control the information, Twitter says, look, guys, I need for you to maintain your shares of stock. Do not sell these things, because if we do, we may have to divulge information that we're not quite ready to divulge. So that's something I want you to kind of keep in mind. But their CEO wrote, "We don't want to be the public or be in the public until we have very predictable quarterly earnings, and we're not ready to be a public company for a couple of years." So if you were thinking at any point in time that they were going to come out this year, you're just going to have to wait a little bit longer. And I'm okay with it, because I really, if I was Twitter, I would really consider watching what happens with Facebook right now. You know, what will happen to the future of Facebook? Will they make all this money? We've talked about LinkedIn, right? Groupon, I think, has rolled out their companies, and there are other ones that are jumping. And there are some who are saying, I'm not ready to quite go into that technology bubble because I was there the last time this thing burst, and I'm not ready to lose my shirt and skin. So, want to know what you think about that, Mike? Exciting news for you? Hey, Twitter's not going to do it yet. I can save up my pennies and buy a few shares of stock in a couple of years.
Well, I don't know. I mean, are they going to try to do? Is the price? Is the ballpark figure is going to be the same around like how Facebook is? Because if it is, it's
well, we don't even know how much Facebook's going to cost, right?
But wasn't like some crazy amount of numbers like we couldn't even think of anybody that could be able to afford to get the stock.
No. Because we don't even know what the cost is.
So it could be something reasonable that anybody could get.
Yeah, it could be. I think what did LinkedIn come out with, like 19? Wasn't it like $17 or something like that at first? I'm trying to remember the exact price, but then it shot up after that.
Right.
So now, granted, we noticed that you may not be able to purchase Facebook stock when it first drops, because a lot of the insider companies were going to be the first to get it. But down the line, maybe you could.
Yeah. Well, yes. If it's easy to get, because those numbers that we were reporting last time were kind of crazy. So if Twitter holds out and see like how everybody jumps on Facebook, maybe they could make it a little bit easier and more available for everybody, because. My pockets ain't that deep.
Well, what is Google's share price today? If you were to do a search, I think you can go to like Yahoo or you can do Google. What is their price today? Because I would imagine it really shouldn't be too much more than Google's. What is that? $600? That's it? A share? Is that all?
Oh, well then, all right.
You can afford one. You can afford one every couple months.
Can we go like on half on one? Or like if I find like 5 other people, can we divide it up?
Sure, why not?
All right.
We talked about that investment club.
It just moved,
right?
Yeah.
So, but I would imagine they're gonna come in and probably a little bit cheaper than that at first, and then potentially increase over time as more and more people buy shares. But we did hear some interesting news that Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, said, I'm kind of open to letting the people, the users of the kind of get some shares of this.
How many users use Facebook?
Only 800 million.
See, $1
That's
a
all.
share, you'd be good.
Yeah.
That's a lot of.
But I think they were valued at it wasn't like 100 crazy $1 billion or something like that.
Yeah, when I think about it, it makes my head hurt.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which puts them, I think, right at the top as potentially the most valuable company out there, over Exxon, over Apple, which blew my mind. How do you become more valuable than Apple right now? They don't even sell a product outside of advertising.
Right.
So, in any case, that's the new information there about Twitter and their potential future. Maybe a surprise, maybe not. But let's switch gears and talk a little bit about this new Apple iPad. And Tim Arthur, who is a huge owner, a lover of all things iPad.
I'm a fan.
Or Apple.
Yes, you are. General. All things Apple. He is. He is the owner of an iPhone. He is the owner of, I think, 2 different versions of the iPad. So what we're hearing today is that, of course, in some rumors, we're hearing that the Wall Street Journal reporting that an 8-inch version of the iPad is just around the corner. But this is their way of competing with Android's Tab, which we talked about yesterday, the Galaxy Tab, which has a 10.1, an 8-inch, and also now a 7-inch version. And Apple says, wait a second, hold on. Okay, hold on a second, because I think the current version is, 9 inches or something like that, Tim? Like 9.7 inches?
Correct. It's not 9 inches.
Oh,
So
sorry.
we're looking at this thing and says there's only one version of the iPad. There's the 9-inch, and Android. Well, depending on who you ask, like Samsung is one of the manufacturers who says we have 3 different styles that you can get. We have, and then they just rolled out the Note, the Galaxy
that's,
Note.
That's the best one, I
right?
think.
That's what 7 inches, I believe.
Yeah, it's a nice size.
Then they have the 8-inch. Then they have, I think, a 9 and 10-inch tablet. So if you can't fit one of these things in your purses, or in your back pocket, or in your briefcase, you have options.
Does anybody know what the Kindle is? The Kindle Fire?
I
Is it a 7?
thought that was 7.
Yeah, I think it's 7.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my observation is that even on the iPad at 9 inches,
Mm-hmm.
it's a challenge sometimes to input information.
Right.
And when you shrink them down, I see the portability increase, but the functionality, how do you do it?
Right.
Bluetooth keyboards.
Agreed. I can
Right.
do that. I have a Bluetooth keyboard. I just don't really use it that often.
Oh.
Right. Well, I do see. I think you have one of those. Now, I don't know if does it come stock. There's that little flip flap that goes with it. The flip flap that goes on the iPad to
flop.
protect it, and then it turns it into like
A flopper, a flipper.
a
Oh, the
keyboard.
stand?
Yeah. Does that come standard?
It's the magnetic. It's called the smart cover. And many manufacturers make them now, but it's basically just
Yeah.
it's got a magnet on one end that there's a part of the iPad that's got some magnetic contacts on the side that it snaps to,
Uh-huh.
and it breaks. Like you can take it off. It's like a breakaway type thing, so you can just take it right off very easily.
Okay.
But when you close it, there's also a magnet in the cover itself that interacts with a magnet inside the iPad that puts it to sleep.
Uh-huh.
So when you close the cover, it turns it off. It's
that's
like
cool.
$25, and there's third-party ones that you can get both at the the Apple Store, on eBay, and other places that are roughly the same price.
Uh-huh.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, this is Joyce Lewis. As I travel a lot, I see a lot of my fellow passengers having both the Apple iPad and their notebook laptop.
Oh, yeah.
So help me understand, as a heavy user of inputting and documents and other functionality that we've been used to using on the actual PC style products, why would I want an iPad and not some of the Air books
Yeah.
that are coming out?
What do you think,
Well,
Tim?
I think I also travel with both. Typically, my laptop, I have a MacBook Pro, and my iPad too, and I travel with both. Just for example, I went out of town last weekend, and I didn't have to do a lot of input work or creation. And for the majority of the weekend, I was just consuming email, things on Twitter, those types of things. And the iPad is very suitable for that. You can do quite a bit of business work on it, but if you're doing very labor-intensive work, such as inputting lots of data or doing graphical work and design, that is not the best platform.
Right.
It's great for presentations. You can get an adapter and hook into a projector and launch a presentation just as you would on a laptop and control it, from an iPhone or some other device wirelessly. But it's not really great for creation yet, and I think they're moving towards making it that way.
Right.
It's just not quite there yet.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the same could be said for the Android tablets as well. That's the major complaint of any tablet user, is that input is difficult when you have lots of information to get in there, and if you're creating things. So
Well, and I think that's probably the reason why I haven't moved to a tablet just yet.
I'm trying to.
Right.
Any donations will be great.
I'm looking at it like, but what can I really do other than just consume? Like, I can consume movies and all that on my phone, but but there are people out there, and it's a growing number. I mean, I see it every day that they are jumping on these tablets.
Well, I will say, though, that technically, if I had light administrative work to do for my day job at home, I could leave my computer on at my desk in my office here in RTP
Right.
and go home with just my iPad. If I needed to change a user's password,
Right.
if I needed to check a mail queue or restart a service on a Windows machine, I could simply go home, push the home button on the iPad, which is instantly on because it's in a constant state of hibernation, if you will. It's never off,
Right.
unless the battery's dead.
Right.
I could push the button, it's on. I could launch an app called Log Me In, which is totally free, and I can remotely control that machine as long as it's powered on and there's an internet connection, that machine has.
Yeah, LogMeIn is great. I downloaded it.
So I can do, many tasks remotely. Is it as effective as having the laptop there to quickly navigate? No, but I don't have to take the laptop out of my bag and wait a minute and a half for it to start up and make sure I've got a charge and power and those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tough balance, but it is very functional. And some, if you're doing maybe one or two small things a night and you leave your notebook at the office, you can go home and a 7-ounce device instead of carrying a whole bag full of notebooks, power adapters, and all that stuff. So.
Which is exactly what I do each and every single day. I'm getting good back strength in carrying these things everywhere I go. So anyway, there it is, an 8-inch, potentially right around the corner, an 8-inch iPad for you folks who kind of want to get in line with what many of us Android folks already enjoy today.
Ha
All right, y'all. Let's pull out our cameras, y'all. Let's see what you guys are doing, and we do this with Daily Booth, and Daily Booth sounds a little something like this. Daily Booth is where we go to take pictures. It's actually a free website. You can go there right now. It's www.dailybooth.com. You can take a picture and then you can share it with us right here in the chat room. You can use your webcam, you can use your cell phone, or you can just upload a picture, whatever is easiest for you. And once you do, just put the URL right here in the chat room and we'll take a look at it with you. Also, if you are new to Daily Booth for any particular reason, you can always follow me at dailybooth.com/Damond Nollan. I think, Mike, yours is dailybooth.com/Michael Render.
Correct.
And you can follow us there. Let us know you are a listener, and we'll follow you back. Mike Render, it looks like I know that you've taken a picture today.
How do you know?
Because I saw you turn around and take one.
Oh,
yeah.
I did.
Did it include anyone else in the picture besides you? Oh, there it is.
It's very possible that it included.
Oh, looky there. We have guests, and you can see our guests here with us. Mike Render shares that image in the chat room. Now, of course, Tim Arthur has posted a picture first. Let's see what Tim Arthur is doing. Go ahead, Tim. King Tim. Oh, there's Tim Arthur.
And he's at work today.
We can see he's at work today. He has those famous blinds behind him.
Right.
But I can see him.
Yeah, that's the difference.
And there's George Clooney looking like self. He says, "Happy Tuesday, everybody." Yes, happy joy.
Where's the other thumb for?
Oh, the double deuces.
Yeah.
Oh, the double thumbs.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
And so Mike Render throws his picture up. You can see Mike Render with his cut-off face, and you can see the rest of the team at our table.
Is my face cut off?
Yeah, I think the lower half of your face was cut. Oh, there it goes.
You can see my
Missed the chin.
features. Yeah.
Yeah. What's up? What is that? Why do I have that look on my face? What is that? Like disgust?
I think you found out your operating system
Doesn't work.
It is what it is.
It works. It's working fine right now.
And
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Telling you to switch,
right. Fingers
like,
crossed.
Huh?
What?
So she's telling you to switch, and you're
She
like,
says,
what?
"Boy, yeah, yeah."
Like, what are you
Don't you
using that
ever?
for?
Right. Yeah, I don't like that face. Next time, let me know. I'm gonna take a picture so I can at least smile or something.
Now you
That's
got a
wrongness.
Natural element.
The wrongness. That's what it is. Anyway, feel free to post your picture once you get them, and we'll take a look at them as we go. Let me also take this opportunity to introduce you to another upcoming event that we'll be going to. That will be the Triangle AMA Digital Marketing Training Camp here February 29th at the Briar Creek Country Club. We will be there live. We'll be doing a live show right there during the middle of their event, and we'll also do have some talks with their speakers. We will talk with some of their presenters, and you guys can get all of the goodness simply by hanging out with us during the show. Now, there is going to be the keynote speaker. It is Peter Shankman. He is the Digital Marketing Training Camp presenter. We also have a number of other guests, which will include Brian Daly from General Motors. We also have David Rose from Magnet Video. We also have Greg Ng will be in the house, the Brooks Bell Interactive guy, which we know and love with Freezer Burns. He'll also be there, and a number of other really good guests. Now, what's on the agenda? what are some things that you can look forward to? Number one, we'll talk about the amazing customer service with social media. You can take a look at that. That will be there. We'll also look at how to drive or leverage video to drive conversions. That will be a topic that we will look into. Also, engaging customers with gamification campaigns, which Aaron K. White would totally appreciate. And more topics, social networking, and more. So you definitely don't want to miss this. You can go to triangleama.org and you can use this discount code, which would give you 10% off of your entry. That would be DMBC10. Again, that's DMBC10. That's the discount code for 10% off of your admission or registration. So definitely go over there right now to triangleama.org to get all the details on the upcoming event where we will be there live recording a show with all the guests who are there. So definitely want to do that. All right, let's move on to another story. Let's talk about the Grammys for a second. Now, Tim Arthur, we have our weekend show what we do on Sunday night, and I think while we were recording our last show, the Grammys were on. Thank you. Yes. I got to work out how to work those. It was on. The show was on. And I got some numbers coming from Forbes.com. They have actually provided 2 sets of analytics from the show, talking about the social TV that we oftentimes talk about here on the show. How well did the Grammys do? That's the question on many people's tongue today. How well did they do? Well, I got two different numbers. One comes from Bluefin, and the other one comes from, I guess it's Trender. And both of those have pretty much the same set of numbers. Well, Bluefin calculated the Grammys had 13 million mentions, which totally outpaced the Super Bowl at 12.2 million. Making it, as of today, the largest recorded social media event to date.
Really?
Yes. That is, for the most part, a huge number of people who were tweeting about that. And, of course, we were on the show recording, so we sort of participated. Let me say hi to The Rab, who is here. That's Ryan Boyles, also our leader for the upcoming Ignite Raleigh 3. Which we spoke about moments ago. Let me welcome him to the show. Hey, Ryan, I'm glad you could join us.
What event?
We're talking about the Grammys and how well the Grammys did, and of course we were sort of referencing our panel discussion on social television and just how well it did. I got some numbers here though. So that's 13 million mentions for the Grammys on Sunday, which up until the Super Bowl, which was the highest, 12.2. So here are, looking at some of the aggregate of the Trender and Bluefin Labs, here are 4 really, really popular moments of the show. Number 1, the Adele winning the album of the year, followed by her performance, which everyone was talking about, right? I don't know, did you see the Grammys at all? Wow. I didn't either, even though later on I caught the last moment, the credits were going up, and I was like, oh man, I missed it. But everyone was talking about Adele and how she sounded so lovely. And this is right after her throat surgery, right?
Right.
And so many people were kind of like, can she hit those notes? Can she do it? And she delivered. Matter of fact, I think she won 6 Grammys. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was 6 Grammys, which put her right in place with Whitney Houston, who also won 6 Grammys in her history as well.
Right.
That is amazing, what she was able to do. But that was the number 1, both when the album of the year and also by her performance. Number 2, which I still haven't seen yet, Chris Brown's performance and his presence on the Grammys. That was pretty big. Matter of fact, I was reading some of the tweets as it was flying across the page that said, if you missed Chris Brown's performance, you have totally missed out, because he brought it. He brought the heat.
Really?
Yeah. This is your boy now, Mike, because every time I think about the ending of our show, I always think about you. Chris Brown brought it. Number 3, the red carpet show on E was the 4th most social show of the night. Many times we look at that because what are they wearing, right? What shoes are you wearing? What dress? Who is the producer of your dress? And they'll say, oh, this is Don't get me started. Whatever manufacturer. Right?
Plug.
All right, for the ladies on the line, you've got to clean that up. It's designer, not manufacturer.
Right, well, we produce, right? Thank you. The designer.
Dressmakers.
Who designed that dress?
Clothes that you're wearing.
I don't even know anybody to put in place on that, but clearly people look at this because this is huge. Number 3, that was the third one. And number 4, the finale performance of Paul McCartney and his famous friends, which I also heard was pretty good as well. But the one I've been hearing that didn't make it on this list, and that was your girl Nicki Minaj, who was possessed on stage.
Was he possessed?
I don't know.
just thought
She was getting an exorcism on stage, and as Mike said, it
looked
wasn't
normal.
Huh?
It looked normal. I could tell really what was going on. It was kind of confusing.
You saw strings and everything else hanging down.
Yeah, I mean, she tried to do the whole stage like a large church, and the pastor and the little kids walked out, and
Yeah.
I mean, it was a production.
It was all right.
It just wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
It was that.
Yeah.
Ryan Boyle says from the chat room, he says, I was not at all impressed with Chris Brown. I should preface that, though. I was impressed with the light show and his dancing. Performance was, yeah. There was a lot of hate for that Nicki performance, though. I did see her outfit before she actually went on stage. It was like the red thing, and she was walking in with a priest. I was like, what is that about?
See?
Totally going against Lady Gaga, who came in before in a big, gigantic egg, dressed in an outfit of steak. I don't know what she was doing with that. Hey, Mike, just take a look at the Rabs picture. He posted a picture as well. Let's see what he's been up to.
Be careful.
Yes, yo. What's up, Ryan Boyles? Good. He's like, hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Hey, and by the way, if you wanted to get on, if you wanted to call and talk about the event, I know Tim hit us up earlier about Ignite, but if you have some comments about the event, any insight that you'd like to share, feel free to join us. You can call us at the number, and we'll pick you up and get some points. But he says from the chat room, many say that it sunk the show after a great performance by Jennifer Hudson and Adele. That was another one which played over and over and over on Monday morning. It was the Jennifer Hudson sort of tribute to Whitney Houston, who we know we lost this weekend. She really sung her heart out on one of Whitney Houston's songs, and they just kept playing it over and over. So, any case, yeah, that was pretty impressive. So, looking at the numbers, those were the top 4 numbers, and there's actually a pretty cool infographic that we're looking at here. And the other one that seemed to come up, which I think the highest being Adele at 21 wins. That was just amazing. So anyway, that's pretty awesome. I want to share that with you, and you can find that again by going to Forbes.com. They have that story out there. Let's change gears and talk about Google Plus for a moment. I know a lot of you are Google Plus fans. I know I'm a Google Plus fan, but they are rolling out some new changes today, and I want you guys to be aware. Google Plus is going to make it very easy for you to, well, connect with your friends. You can do that today, and of course, I checked mine. Now, Mike, I don't know if you want to log in and see if you have it, but if you go to Google Plus right now, plus.google.com, if you log in using your Google account, check on the circles area. They are rolling out a new layout that's going to make it way easier for you to navigate and get your friends. And according to their page, you'll start to see this very soon. The Google product manager, Sean Purcell, noted that the search giant has introduced a new left-hand navigation menu, which will make it quicker and easier to access users' email address, book, and adapted the design of the circles themselves so they shrink to render correctly on a smaller screen, which I totally appreciate when I use my laptop. Definitely make it easier for me to navigate. So you can look for that change. That's rolling out today. You'll also be able to look at more search features, which will be rolling out as well. For example, Google Plus will allow users to type in the name of a person or brand that they're interested in, and then in suggesting a list of related users and pages that can be added to a user's circle. That will also be rolling out today. So I don't see yours hasn't updated just yet, but soon you should see on the left-hand side here, Mike, you should see an easier way to navigate and kind of get to those different circles and put people in them. It's going to be pretty awesome. So keep your eyes open. It's going to be rolling out sometime today.
I'll check for that.
Definitely. definitely want to do that. So I don't know. Are you a big fan of Google Plus?
No, I rarely go in there, but yeah,
I need for you to be a fan. Okay,
I'm
I know
a fan.
you're.
I
I know
like
you're on
it.
the iPhone and all,
I
but I need
like
for you to
it.
be a fan of Google Plus right now.
I like it.
Okay, we need to help them along.
I'm helping them. I'm a user.
All right. So there you go. Check out the new Google Plus. Let me turn to the phones for a second. I believe that this is Ryan Boyle. I want to bring him on the phone. What's going on, sir?
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for calling in. It's so great to have you on.
What up?
It's been a minute. Since we talked about the last year's Ignite, but I wanted to give this opportunity to let you, our leader, provide any inside information that we can look forward to. Tim Arthur did a great job giving us the overview and the rundown on it. But you are the man, and you've been doing this for so many years. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to share any information you may have about the event, which happens when? This Thursday, downtown Raleigh.
Yes. Well, I don't like that title, leader. I think it's very much a group effort. We've, I have to give a shout out first of all to all of you that are helping make this happen, because I definitely could not do it on my own. I sort of took over the reins from when we started back in 2009, but now I see all the, hair pulling that probably was done by Wayne when we started this thing, and now, now that we're sort of doing it again in Raleigh for the third time, I think it's going to be probably bigger and better than ever. I mean, we're doing new things like having music this year, and so I think we're excited about that. We're playing up the charity component more so than we have in the past, so that's exciting. And I think it's going to be a great night. We never know what to expect from all of the speakers that are, put in their ideas, and the whole city or the whole community gets to vote on them, and we never know what's going to happen. So somehow we always get these brilliant, awesome ideas that, come from people that, you either didn't know that they were geeks about a certain topic or have a certain passion, but those things always shine through, and it makes it really a special night.
Absolutely. I actually was going through the Ignite Raleigh 2, looking at, because you have both the Ignite Raleigh and Ignite Durham videos on YouTube. You can actually go over there now and see last year's and the year before the different videos. And I was laughing at the number of them. I remember how awesome the Lincoln Theater was when I was there a couple years ago. And it was such an outstanding environment for what we're doing. It was very cozy, and it was fun. But I was looking at one of my favorites. There was the life of a weather or a meteorologist who kind of went through her day with this clock, and it was showing us what it's like when you wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then you have to do the show, and then you got to go through this life, and it's so interesting to see how that was. But then you could switch it and talk about you had one on the zombies, I believe, right, Ryan?
Yeah, it was almost as terrifying as being by zombies to give that talk. That's the first time. So people say that I sound confident when I speak. I was literally about to melt off the stage when I was doing that. But that's part of the appeal of this event, is that people that have never sort of stood up in front of a big crowd before necessarily, maybe that's not part of their day job, maybe that's not part of something they've done before. It gives them that platform to share something that they know a lot about, or something they're learning about that they're really crazy about, or they geek out on. And the whole idea is to have them have a spotlight, 5 minutes of fame, not 15 minutes of fame, but 5 minutes is enough. They say that 5 minutes is enough to really nail an idea and really spark something in the audience as well, because the coolest thing for me is exactly what you said. The creativity that people put into their slides when it's sort of it's a blank canvas when they start out, and no matter what the topic is, there's always really cool visuals,
Right.
really cool, ways that they present their story or their idea or the background. Lisa was reminding me last night of another great talk from our first Ignite event that we had in Raleigh in 2009, where there was a runner who, she wasn't a typical runner, right? She was an elderly member of our community who literally had taken up running at the age of like 50-something. And she started training to do a marathon because of getting involved with the community that was around this particular Disney race that she became a part of. And so it became, her talk was literally how I learned the value of Web 2.0 from running a marathon, And so it was one of the most compelling talks we had, and it was totally unexpected, and it revealed the power of online communities and how they bond at these real life events, and people become friends for life. And I think that's really what Ignite and the tweet ups we do, and every event that I help organize or that I team up with any of you on, it's for that purpose. It's to build networks and relationships beyond just following people on Twitter.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I just want to say, while I have you here, I want to say just how great of a job I think you're doing, and that goes for you too, Tim and Lisa, and all the ones who are really helping to make this thing happen. I'm watching you guys firsthand and saying, dude, you guys are the hardest working people I know. And I have every confidence that this is going to be one of the best Ignites I have ever been to. And I would encourage all of you to come down again this Thursday night at 7 p.m., right? The doors open at 6:30. Is that correct?
That's right.
Down at Lincoln Theater, downtown Raleigh this week. Tim shared the Ignite Eventbrite link in the chat room. Make sure you click on that, get your free tickets, and come see what everybody's talking about this weekend. So, Ryan, thank you, sir, for all that you're doing, and I surely appreciate the opportunity to work with you and just be in your presence along with the rest of them, because this is a memorable event. So, big kudos to you, man.
I appreciate it. I don't like praise like that. I don't like being in the spotlight, honestly. So that's what was terrifying about doing that zombie talk. I'm my own worst critic, but I really enjoy seeing what other people bring to this, with their talks. And there's a lot of them that are freaking out. They're telling me, they're probably second guessing, right? Because
Right.
they put in their talks, and then all of a sudden they get voted in, and they're like, "Oh crap, I have to do it."
Yep, you got to do it. Cool
I know
beans.
people are excited on the weekend show on the Tech Monks. We had Charlotte Moore and Brian McDonald were actually in the chat room talking with us, and they were actually at the time kind of going through their topics and refining their slides and their speeches. So I know that it's definitely pretty high up there on their minds right now.
Absolutely.
And I'll give one last plug before you go, but I've been asked to go on NBC in the morning and talk about this. So I'm more terrified than I was for Ignite. I think taping a spot in the morning that's going to be on the early show, so I've got to be there before 6 o'clock, and so we're trying to really reach out and let everybody know that it's an event for everybody. It's not a social media event, it's not a marketing event. The whole concept of Ignite at the end of the day is that it's a variety show for anything, and it's no sales pitches, so you're not going to see the typical networking content up there, but that's a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
This is a chance for people to really step back from the day-to-day grind and say, oh wow, that's something really cool that I hadn't thought about in a while, or something totally new.
Right. What do you think, Tim?
It's going to be phenomenal, and I think Ryan pretty much phrased it in the terminology that it will blow your mind if you've never been there before. So please do. If you've never come to Ignite Raleigh, get your free tickets now. Like I mentioned earlier, there's multiple hundreds of people in the area that have picked up their free tickets. We do have some tickets left, but they are limited, so go and get them now. You got about 48 hours left before the ticketing gets cut off. It's going to be a great event, live music, great topics and talks, a great atmosphere. Definitely join us.
Cool beans. Now, before you run, now I don't know, Ryan, if you're on a tight budget, but a tight budget of time, but I have a couple of stories, and I might want to get your thoughts on that. Can you hang around a little bit longer?
Sure, no problem.
All right. Well, one of the next subjects that we have here is this really popular site that's getting a lot of attention. It's called Pinterest. Have you guys heard of this?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Everywhere I go, this thing is like, so and so is now following you on Pinterest, and
my inbox is literally flooded with people following me now, and I've posted a few things in the last week or so, but honestly, when I signed up originally, I didn't have anything, and the floodgates opened, and people started following me for no better reason. I think that they must have built in, kind of like, I suspect that they put in a similar system as GetGlue, where I'm not sure if this is accurate or not, but GetGlue is the social TV app where if you wire in your Twitter or your Facebook, it automatically follows your followers on those other networks. And I'm wondering if Pinterest is doing the same thing, because I really don't understand why people would choose to follow me when either I don't have good content there, or if we aren't sort of buddies that craft together or something, right? I don't really understand it yet.
Right. What about you, Tim? What do you think about that?
I probably get at least 20 to 30 notifications a day from people, on my social networks, most notably Facebook, that I'm friends with, but that I don't really interact a whole heck of a lot with on Facebook to begin with. It's just people I know from college or even elementary school. And there's got to be some type of component, like Ryan said, built in that's like, these are all your Facebook friends. Check all of them right now and never know. I've done like 4 or 5 maybe things that I've found out there that I've thrown up there as far as pins, I guess they call them, or pin boards. It's a cool concept, but I really like the idea of Ryan actually kind of let me know that there's another service out there that's more focused on, guy type things called Gentlemint. It's kind of a similar service like Pinterest, but it's more like
for guy stuff
that guys like,
Yeah,
tech and stuff like that.
I noticed Gentleman a couple of weeks ago. I was in a workshop and somebody said, "Hey, check this out," because the interesting thing was I was in a workshop where we were training non-social, non-tech or non-bloggers that were technical folks in IBM to become bloggers, and so I was there to help give workshops, and I was there with a few other, social media strategists within IBM, and they were all going, and several of them were female, and they were going nuts over Pinterest. And my observation is that Pinterest, for me, and I've drawn a lot of flack for this, is that Pinterest is essentially Tumblr with a bit of a different UI, and it definitely has a different flavor to it, meaning, they're targeting the crafter type of creative crowd, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think some of my comments about it have drawn, sort of negativity. A lot of people are really defensive about Pinterest now because they think it's this great new unique thing, and I would put out there that it's not really that unique. It's just it's putting a different spin on some of the tools that are already out there. Because, like, for example, when you look at the main action of repinning things on the boards, that's a direct ripoff of reblogging on Tumblr. And that's what made Tumblr successful, is that they built this native feature into their blog platform, and they had a social network component where people share content, over and over and over again in a threaded way, and that's how content becomes viral on the platform. And that the same thing is now happening on Pinterest. It's just different types of content.
I could see where you would see the creative side of that, because one of the biggest uses for Pinterest is for wedding planning. Wedding and event planning, because of the ease of sharing thoughts, ideas, sources, especially creative sources where you would want to find elements for your event. So,
and I want to leapfrog on that. I actually have a study that was done, or if you want to call it a study, maybe more or less a poll that was done. It was done in between the U.S. and the U.K., and there are some differences between how we use it and how those in the U.K. use it. And one of the biggest ones is that here in the U.S., the majority of the users are women, 83% compared to 17%. But if you go to the U.K., 56% of the users, which is the majority, are men. And if you look at the different topics, here are some of the interests that they use. In the U.S., crafts, gifts and special events, hobbies, leisure, interior design, fashion designers, collections, and blogging resources is what's popular here. But if you go over to the UK, they have venture capital, blogging resources, crafts and design, web stats and analytics, SEO and marketing, content management, and public relations. Two totally different kind of users there.
I think you're going to find there are different styles and ways of communicating. So if you were to map out the typical ways that, guys in the U.S. will communicate, it's a bit different from the way some folks in Europe communicate, and the complexity, the styles are different. So that's why you're seeing that trend.
Right. My observation's been, and I'm not a heavy user. I'll get on there several times a day, mostly when I'm actually clicking follow all on people that follow me. I'll check out and see what they're doing. And I would say the majority of what I'm seeing is quite along the lines of what you said, Joyce, wedding planning, home decor, crafting, and also kind of like that foodie segment, where people are highlighting different types of food and cooking is what I've seen. But it's a cool concept, and it's kind of something different to do.
Absolutely.
One other interesting article I saw about Pinterest is that part of their success is really getting this viral sort of reach with content that people are sharing with each other, or they're collecting for these different purposes like crafting or home improvement, what have you.
Yeah.
But they're secretly, I don't know if you saw this article, they're secretly adding affiliate links so that they can monetize everything that you shared.
How do they make money?
Not really they're doing this in a not obvious way. It's not even called out in their terms of service necessarily. And so, I think the question is going to start to be asked, is that on the up and up? It's probably, nobody could fault them with wanting to make money, but there needs to be an arrangement, I think, much like the Amazon model, where the revenue is shared with the content creators.
That's a good point.
That is a good point. Leave it to the Rab to guide us through that. Never thought about that. One final story before we run out of time. I just want to put this out there. On Mashable today, we learned that, it probably happened yesterday, but the United States Department of Justice approved Google's proposed acquisition of Motorola Mobility yesterday afternoon. Earlier on Monday, Google announced that it's via its blog that the European Union had also approved the $12.5 billion deal as well. So the two major milestones make Google's acquisition of Motorola all but certain. The deal will enable Google to produce its own line of smartphones. Yes, you heard that correctly. And which they're going to probably continue to build their Android devices on that. And number two,
90 seconds.
They have a number of new patents that they can use to get some money back from Apple. Dun, 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 dun.
So you're saying Google's going to make their own, no HTC, no Motorola. It's
Their
gonna be
own
All I
phone.
got to say is good luck with that.
Yeah, it sounds kind of dangerous.
Oh, and then the story unfolds. But let me say thank you to first Ryan Boyles. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Tim Arthur, thank you, sir.
60 seconds.
Also want to say Joyce Lewis, thank you, ma'am, for your time with us.
Quite welcome.
Welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to Alan Tran, Guest 2812, Michael Render, Neil, that's the Nab, the Rab, Tim Arthur, and all of you listening live in an archive. Thank you for what you do. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget, we're here every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. right here on blogtalkradio.com. You can also find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter and Google+. Also, later on today, we'll have our higher quality audio also shared on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com/Damond Nollan, and we'll be sharing out all these so you can share them with your friends. It's going to do it for us, y'all. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Don't forget, we'll see you Thursday. But for the rest of y'all, see you tomorrow. Until then, deuces.
10 seconds.